To good evening, everyone. My name is Donnie Glover, and we're here with the illustrious, the accomplished, the well-known, the well-established Marc Clarke.
Wow, what an intro is that, man? Excuse my little mark on I don't know what my screen's doing, but it's a pleasure and honor to be on this show. The innovator, Donnie Glover, years ago, before everybody else. Let me tell you what I love about you, Donnie. You didn't give a damn. Donnie Glover didn't care. Donnie, people would come to me and be like, "Do you know somebody from?" I said, "Donnie Glover." Yeah, he put his phone in my face. He put his camera. Yep, Donnie Glover. And now everybody does it. In fact, it's a whole style of journalism. So Donnie, it's a whole style of journalism that you created.
Cinema Verte, right on the spot. Put it up in there. With the little camera.
That's the college. That's your college cultured background. Now they call it a one-man show. They send the reporter out there with the camera, and sometimes it's his phone, and he does the whole story, comes back and edits it together. What you've been doing your whole career.
My man. But this night is about you, Marc Clarke.
Well,
the reinvention of Marc Clarke. That sounds like more than just a one-night event. That sounds like a series, an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's going to be the name of my TV show, Reinventing with Marc Clarke. But yeah, Donnie, I'm having an event December 11th. I'll invite everybody out. Please go to Eventbrite and get your tickets because it is going to sell out because the venue's not that big. And I just realized my list is almost takes up half the spot. So get your tickets because it might not be enough room. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, Donnie. Our favorite Shannon Ramsey, who's from Baltimore, Larry Lancaster from Baltimore. We got a couple poets. There'll be the entertainment, but it starts with vending starts the vending at 4:00. Vendors are there, and then 5 to 6, I'll be talking about what is Marc Clarke Media and all the podcasts and the things that I want to do, and showing the spotlight on my friends like yourself who are doing things in the community. And also, hopefully, some prospective sponsors will sign up. And then 6 to 7, it's entertainment. Like I said, poetry, Shannon Ramsey, Larry Lancaster. And then 7 to 9, baby, it's the party. And we got food. And so it's pretty much a celebration. It really is celebrating family. My family's going to be there. All these years, people have supported me, but many have not met my family in person. So it's a chance to do that. And really, Donnie, this reinvention journey, you've been with me through all the different reincarnations.
I remember Daddy and the trampoline.
Right. Donnie has been there, been there the whole time. So you recall, Donnie, after me and the missus were let go at Howard University, WHUR, I guess about a year ago or so, I was, I'm not the kind of person that gets down. I wasn't down. I think I was disappointed. Donnie, it was HUR was family. It's tough. When you get put through the ringer by people you don't know, it's one thing. But when it's family, it's just weird. And it was weird. I was like, we got hired, and I have the most popular personality in the market, my wife. I have, me, who I'd worked at the station before, and to be kind of unceremoniously let go after 18 months, I would just like, it just kind of freaked me out. And it wasn't like a thing where, they were like, oh, the ratings are bad, we got to let you go. I got blindsided, And at the time, now that I look back at it.
I was in a relationship like that.
Donnie, I think I might know the person. I'm joking. Yeah, getting blindsided is interesting. So I looked up, and it's funny now. I look at that person, Donnie, and as you know, I talked to you about it. I lost my mother, Allison. I was a caregiver for her father, and right around the time I was doing the radio thing, I had gained weight. I picked up weight, and it kind of snuck up on me, and so I was at my heaviest, and then I lost the gig, and so I said, you know what, man, it's time for me to reinvent. It's time for me to put some time into my career and put some time into me. And so I started this kind of thing where I got on the treadmill every day at 7:15. So I got on the treadmill, started walking, then I started talking. So I just kind of started doing this kind of motivation speak. And it's so funny when I look back now, I'm like, good Lord, Donnie, I could have had a heart attack on the treadmill. You didn't tell me, Donnie, I was looking scary, sweating and talking. You didn't say nothing. So I started doing that.
You kept going.
I started doing it, right. And I started, started a group on Facebook, Reinventing Yourself. And then I started a page on YouTube. It started with one. Next thing you know, I had 1,000 followers. Next thing you know, I said, you know what? I'm losing a few pounds. I'm going to go ahead and do this weight loss surgery. So in April, I did that. And so now we're about a year from when I started it. And about, since April, I'm already down 100 pounds. And then the universe, you know how the universe does. I'm at home, no job.
Minding your business.
Minding my business. And this opportunity comes. And Allison's like, yo, they're looking for somebody to cover for Ellen. She's having a baby. You should audition. And so, Donnie, you know what happens. What do they say when opportunity meets whatever?
Preparation.
Right. But the funny part was I was prepping my whole life and didn't know it. But that didn't stop the nerves. That didn't stop the self-doubt. That didn't stop the, okay, you say you got to be careful what you ask for. So now, they're going to have to, I asked for it. And so now I got to go deliver. And so sure enough, the fact that I was down a few pounds probably helped. The fact that I had 30 years of media experience probably helped. And the fact that even though I wasn't great on the teleprompter reads, I knew, the interview part and just the spontaneous part, I knew I would have it. And so I got the gig. So at 55, Donnie, I landed on television, which was the original dream. The original dream, and I say this to you, Donnie, because now that I'm in a world where everybody's younger than me, they don't know the references. But Donnie, when I was a kid and I wanted to be like Brian Gumlin, I wanted to be like Howard Cosell. That was the first dream. And after I graduated from college with my tape in little ass Springfield, Illinois, and I took it out there to the guy, and he said, "You need more experience." I need more experience for market 175. And so radio was easier to get into, and I hopped into radio.
Slow down right there. I was told the same thing when I first started writing citywide. I won't call out the person or the
go ahead, call them out.
No, because they're not even in the industry anymore. But this older guy told me that I needed to go to somewhere like Springfield, Illinois, and get some experience. The challenge was I had a son.
Yes.
I'm not leaving my child in another city.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it right here. And so similarly, you did it your way.
Yep. I hopped into radio. And the part that was funny, Daddy, I'd always ask people when I went to different markets, starting in Huntsville, Alabama, and start moving on up, I would ask the TV people to come, hey, well, how'd you get it? And later be like, so here I was in college. I majored in radio television. We had a student-run station. I had a real tape. I had real experience, all that stuff. And I would talk to people, and they would be like, well, I was a receptionist. How'd you get in? Well, I knew somebody, and they just told me to come by. I would be like, what? But anyway, so at 55...
That's it. It's relationships.
It's relationships. At 55, Donnie, boom, I'm on television. Come on, God. At the same station my wife works at. Come on, God. Getting paid to learn a new skill set at 55. So now I know how to edit. I know how to do television package. I know how to use the systems that they use at TV stations to put a package on the system at 55. So any doubt, and I never had any doubt that, I have about the power of following your dreams. This one right here, Donnie, is just, come on. And so I have to sing it from the mountaintops because people already see my amazing wife and they've seen these things. And so see me in the valley, and this right here has really just been special. And man, that's what it's all about. So that's what we're celebrating on December 11th.
But you've been a fighter. I've known you to be a fighter. I've known you to be a family man. I mean, you're like a model dad. At least that's the imagery I see.
Well, the funny thing, Donnie, was, and I had to laugh because you know how when celebrities feel like they get lied on. So for the first time ever, a friend of mine in St. Louis, he just told me this 2 days ago. he was talking to somebody, and who works in the area. She works in law enforcement or something. And he name dropped, hey, my boy Marc Clarke. And she said, oh yeah, heavy set guy. Yeah, his wife works at television. She said, oh, he's a mess. She said he been cheating on her for years. She's been supporting him, and everybody knows in the streets that he running around on her, and he da. So my friend, he said, when that happens, it's weird because you don't want to believe it, but part of you be like, well, hey, you never know who people are. And so he said, yeah, man, I didn't tell you because but it was the first time, Donnie, after all these years, anything ever like that ever came, that I ever heard anything like that. And I just thought about what a blessing, because with all this social media and stuff, and I've been talking about my family and Allison forever. We've never really had any scandals or I ain't never heard a negative thing, you know what I mean? So it was the first time. And when I got off the phone, I had to laugh, Donnie, because he had that, that tone. I could still tell he was like, uh-huh. Sure, Mark.
Then he doesn't know you.
Well, yeah, I'm just joking. He knows me, but but again, so you never really know somebody though, really, right?
We know you, Mark.
Well, you know what, Donnie?
We family, and someone would have to beat me with a stick because I'm fighting for Mark. I ain't buying none of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I will say that was funny, Donnie, back in the day of Silver Shadows, which if you remember when I did Silver Shadows for all that time. And, I would get my groove on the dance floor and whatever. But one thing, it happened one time, and it was great. It was a great thought in that I remember, how you just have what do you call it?
Premonition? A premonition?
Yeah, if premonition or vibe. And what hit me was, as I was, typical Friday night at Silver Shadows, I was like, if I ever did something, why do I get the feeling the person would beat it to the beauty shop the next day? It would be almost like, it would be almost like, because I do talk about my wife so much. And it kind of made me be like, yep. And that's why I ain't doing that, because it's almost like it would be, I won't say it's valuable, but how people are, there's people who are waiting on you to fail. And because I always have been so high profile with my family, of course, there are people who are waiting for you to fail and be the first one to say, oh, yeah, girl, he be saying all that, but he don't be mean. You know what I mean? And so I'm just glad that, again, that I had that kind of that energy, because I will say this, I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but I was in DC, and I know somebody on television, a husband, and I was in a bar, and I was sitting next to these ladies, and they said, oh, her husband? Yeah, we did it in the bathroom. At this bar, and I was like, So yeah, I was trying. Yeah, that kept me sane, if you will. So
you guys have been a model couple for many of us who know you for years.
Yeah.
I remember, kid, when you were trucking on that train up to New York for the weekend, living in Queens, I think.
Yeah.
And but still, man. You had a basement apartment. I remember the story.
Yeah.
But I remember the hustle that it took. You showed us how to hustle. There's a young lady here in Baltimore named Jet Miller, and she's into fashion, but she left Baltimore and went to New York because New York is the center for fashion. Yeah. New York is the center for media. And both of you took it, you knew that you had to go. It's what I say about pigeons and eagles. Pigeons are everywhere, but in order to see another eagle, you got to fly a great distance. So you guys had the tenacity, the fortitude to go. You went even farther, from DC, Baltimore to New York every weekend. Yeah, the grit, the determination, the support from family.
Dude, family support.
In your
family support, it was legendary. And my wife's support, I always say my wife loves me because of how she loved her dad. And that's something that, regardless of color, many people just don't have, right? And so little did I know, Donnie, when the gig left in 2008, when 92Q was over, and I became basically Mr. Mom, that time I was spending with my daughters, little did I know that was preparing me for when I had to leave in New York, right? And because I had such a close relationship, it wasn't one of those things where there was any mystery. You know what I mean?
He
Every
ain't been
morning,
here no way.
huh?
He ain't been here no way. Who gonna miss him?
Exactly. Every morning, I'm doing the breakfast, I'm doing their hair, I'm dropping them off. So when it came as a family, when you're saying, look, this opportunity to make six figures, and get back on radio comes up, what do you think? It was like, yes. Now, Allison's parents, like you say, the other part is a lot of times your wife could be down, but her support group could be like, oh, that's some BS, right? But the parents were 100% on board. So you know how heartbreaking it was, Donnie, when I was in New York, when I got the news that Allison's mom, passed away, bro.
It was like your own mom.
Man, that was that. And as you know, because you've had these losses, that moment, those moments are forever burned into your psyche, aren't they? I remember coming out. I was actually over my coworker's apartment. I was babysitting. She was out of town, her dog, and I'm on the phone, and the mom was doing fine. She was in the hospital. Everything was going well. I'm sure you've been here before, Donnie. And when I got that, and okay, hold on, I can't hear you. I'm in the lobby. Da. What now? What now? Man, when she told me that out on the streets, man, whoo, man, my heart just dropped. So, yep. So, that right there was.
You gained the angel, though, babe. That's how I learned to look at it.
You had,
yep.
I
gained an angel. And only spiritual people, I think, can really appreciate it. But you didn't lose. It was time God called him home, but you gained an angel.
And speaking of angels, so all those years, man, that was Nana she was watching them babies when I was going to Baltimore every day. We didn't have a babysitter. We had Nana. So the girls we never had to pay for a babysitter. We never had to worry, are they
about
okay?
Some old bad person.
That we had that. That was a blessing too.
Marc Clarke would turn into a serial killer messing with his daughter.
Well, and the other part, Don, like you said, what you never know is like, Alice's parents, who were vegetarian, Peace Corps, healthy, they checked out early, man, but they gave so much, little did we know that those moments were going to be precious, and they were going to be before our daughters were even 21 years old, that they would be gone. But their memories and what they built was there to help save us and help keep the family together. Yeah.
Very important. Family. Being in love with somebody, and we don't get it. And that's where you and Allison have been a model for many of us. So on behalf of all of the people in the DMV who you have inspired, thank you. Thank y'all for sharing your life. Now who's the Asian co-host lady?
Annie you.
Yeah, tell Annie hello for me.
Annie's family too. She's amazing too.
And Annie need a little bit of rhythm. She a little.
Hey, easy. That's sister. Okay, hey.
Need a little bit of Marvin Gaye going on there. A little bit of Al Green. Okay, so the party. Where's this place? This is the Marriott Courtyard.
Out in Bowie. Yep, out in Bowie, Maryland. Like I said, it's not a huge venue. It's about 125 people. We're gonna have the vendors will be off in another room that's adjacent.
Oh, then they have vendors too.
Oh yeah, we got vendors, man. Still room for vendors if you're trying to get in. We got vendors.
This sounds like some Phineas stuff. LaRon Phineas type. You done took it and flipped it into a whole expo.
Well, Finney's the GOAT when it comes to that kind of stuff. This is my foot in the water, but
no, you've been around legends. This got some legendary taint to it.
Well, what it's going to have is going to have that family thing. I think that's like you said. That's my brand is. Hey, y'all. It's like yours. It's like it's like yours. We the fam. You know what I mean? We're not necessarily the bells and whistles. We more the hey, what's up, y'all?
So this is clearly it's time for the next book.
Oh yeah. Well, I got the children's books will be for sale, but yeah, I got a juice book that's on the way. And then I've been, this one, Good Morning Baltimore is a title that I've been thinking about forever. And I just need to go ahead and pull the trigger. Like,
well, stop telling people before you copyright it before somebody steal it.
well, it's
Don't tell
already
them.
a play and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, it might not even
Oh,
be,
okay.
Good Morning Baltimore. But
Because they will steal from you.
but man, I had, well, Donnie, Donnie, you could tell me, was it me, or did it just seem, or was it just our ages? Didn't it seem like the time that was an interesting time when the Big Fat Morning Show, when we were in Baltimore? Didn't it just seem like it was a time? I mean, from the Believe campaign to the different things that we were able to do, to Miss Tony, to K Swift, to the people we lost, Reggie Reg. It just seemed like it was a special time, because a lot happened between 1999 to that 2000, what I mean, and things kind of like seemed like, even when Sheila was mayor the first time, and
I wanted to ask you something. Did they have a party at Reggie Reg's funeral? Were they jamming in the funeral home? I went to elementary school with Reggie Reg, and my daddy was a funeral director. And I saw a lot of things in the funeral. I remember the first time, I'm taking your mind totally away from me. So we lived upstairs, right? We had a double house, and we lived on the second and third floor. I'll never forget, I was about 7 years old. We were in East Baltimore, and I saw a lady go up to the body and do this. Pulled out one of them little, and took a Polaroid. That's what it was. I had never in my whole 8 years seen anybody take a picture of a dead person. I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? Okay. So yeah, I know.
Donnie, no, Donnie, you black. Black people take pictures of funerals. Sorry. My Aunt Mary was the queen of it. You at her house looking through the family pictures, having a good day. Doody-doo. Ah, Uncle Charlie. Capture the memory.
You ever seen a fight break out at a funeral?
Yes. I've seen the fight break out. I've seen the almost fall in the damn, thing at the thing. And sadly, my man, Pork Chop, cracked on me. His late mother, when we were carrying the coffin across the wet grass, for some reason, my grip was shaky. And man, and you know how you realize you're the weakest link, and you hope nobody else noticed. Well, damn, Pork Chop noticed. He's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm sorry, dog. I don't know what it was. My hand was weak, brother. I was Donnie. It was almost gonna be a tragedy. I was as DMX. I was slipping,
falling, and I can't get up. Wow.
Michael said he saw Finney this morning at breakfast. What's up, Michael Haney?
Mike Haney's on this network now. He's like our super executive administrator.
A good position.
He did 2 shows from Africa, one from Tanzania and the other one from Kenya. So ahead, Mike's quite a person to know. Very resourceful, has been everywhere.
Worldwide.
Yeah, but going back to the days, as you were talking, all of that stuff happened down on St. Paul Street.
Yep.
This was before moving to Woodlawn, right?
Yep. St. Paul was right. You're right. All that activity. You're right.
Most of it was St. Paul Street.
Most of it was St. Paul. The activities. And you're right. Early on, because we did South Africa twice. We did the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. We did the Summer Olympics in Greece. Just Silver Shadows, like I said, those parties out front, activity out front.
I'm gonna take you all the way back. Before there was a Sanjay, there was Marva.
Marvelous Marva.
And your boy Troy.
It was so funny.
Your boy Troy.
Troy, yep. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was trying to think. I had to ask Troy who recommended Marva, because I'm trying to think somebody recommended Marva, because the station wanted us to do Howard G. And it was like, Howard was amazing, and we ended up working with Howard G. But you know how you come in somewhere when they try to hand off somebody to you, like, no, I didn't. You know, you just kind of want your own people. But Marva's name came up, and Marva was just what a find, you know. And Marva's like my sister. You know, we share birthdays, but she's just, you know, Marva's amazing, and it was that connection to Baltimore, that real connection to Baltimore, her being a dove and all. You know, it's so funny, Donnie. When I first met Dion, I had to laugh at myself how naive I was. So Dion was the program director. I don't know if you remember Dion.
I remember the name. I remember the title.
And Dion was he was young, much younger than us. So I asked Dion, I said, so Dion, you know, I'm trying to get the lay of the land. I'm like, Dion, so where are the high schools here? And you'll get this.
Good question.
He goes, there's only one high school here in Baltimore.
Oh, is this a poly guy or a city guy?
Right. He's a poly guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, you know, look at me, Dion. Only one high school in the whole city?
That's straight eagle. That's like me telling you there's only one school in Georgia.
Right. What school is that, Donnie?
Morehouse.
Morehouse. You're Morehouse. Are you a Morehouse? Hey, man.
What does that mean?
Joking.
You talking about them cats on Ashby Street? You don't know about Ashby Street. Right across the street from Morehouse is a street called Ashby Street. And they had a lot of sketchy looking people over there. Okay, they sounded like men. They were built like men.
Donnie, I can't afford to get in your trap. No, sir. I wish I hadn't opened up the box. Shut the box right now, mister. I'll just say this.
Morehouse, they had to send out a memo to tell dudes stop wearing skirts. This was a few years back. So, yeah, I done heard every Morehouse joke just like I done heard every Undertaker joke. So, but Donnie, I spent my free time as Spellman, for the record.
You could tell. So it was funny, Donnie, as you know, going way back before when I was in, so I didn't go to HBCU, but I wanted to go to Howard, but I didn't know how much it cost. So I got the package and I realized, of course, I couldn't afford it, but I
couldn't afford it.
Huh?
I couldn't afford Morehouse.
Yeah. I thought HBC, again, I didn't know anything about HBCUs. So I just assumed that the black schools would cost less, you know, but you know, I'm compared to a state.
There's a grading mechanism. Morehouse, Howard, Hampton, yeah, they paying $40 a year. $40 a year.
Now, my daughter's there. You know, my daughter's at Hampton.
Let me share this with you. When I got to my physical science class, and the teacher, we on Morehouse, well, we actually at Clarke University, and the professor started telling me about how the Greeks founded civilization and brought up the first principles of science and math. I said to myself, I'm paying top dollar for a white man to lie to me on a black campus. I'll be damned.
That's sad.
I said I could have got that at state school. I ain't come down here for that foolishness. But of course, over time, you realize we have a long way still to go in education. Yes. And that's why I wrote that book, I Am Black Wall Street, to solidify a lot of our history that's been hidden from us. If we don't know our history, we leave it to somebody else. I need you to, here's the book right here. I need you to tell me, we got to again for the most one children before you met your wife in your media career, granddad.
You said, I'm sorry, Donnie, you broke up. What'd you say?
We have to reference in this interview the most influential person in your media career years before you met your wife, your granddad.
Who passed away when I was 3, and I always tell you remind me of him. Why? Because you're a newspaper man. But more importantly, Donnie, I'm gonna hit you with this term that I think only cats in our age group know. You're a race man. And so I asked my mother about my grandfather, and she said, well, your grandfather was a race man. And I said, okay. I had to laugh because, Donnie, you are a race man. And what does that mean for those who don't know? That's a man who puts his race of high importance. The education, the protection, the information, you know, as a top priority. And my grandfather had a newspaper called the Springfield Chronicle, And my grandfather was the printer. So there was just, and you know it, Donnie, there was it was a race riot in Springfield that really was set up the NAACP, and you know, after the race riot, they had a meeting, the Niagara movement there in Springfield, and my grandfather was the printer there. He was there. And so at his shop, when
Do you
blacks would
understand
come.
what that meant? Him being the printer?
Do you understand what it meant?
That means he was on the front lines.
Right,
His machine, his printing press,
yes,
was as essential to the movement as the thumb is to the hand.
Yep. And the part that's so crazy.
And they probably wanted to pop your granddad.
Well, and Donnie, the part about America that I marvel at, you know, with Frederick Douglass and, you know, and those people, like you said, who just stood up against it. Like my mother tells a story, you know, one time my grandfather, back then, you know, you go to the movies and you couldn't sit in the front, you had to sit in the whatever, you had to sit up in the balcony, whatever.
But I don't feel like going up there, damn it.
Right. And he didn't. And so I'm like, these people,
they had to go get their very, 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 very racist uncle Billy Bob from wherever else, because none of the regular white people was going to deal with your granddaddy.
But like, just like, where do these guys come from? And you know, he had his own newspaper, and like you said, there was a group of black men. You know, there was Mr. Stewart, who had the gas station, and he had a hotel. And so when people would come back then, they would stay, you know, come to the shop and talk to my grandfather, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Ralph Bunche, and different people. And the sad part is, back then even within our own family, black folks did not support him like they should. And in the printing community, the white black people would go to the white printer, and the white printer would give the printing to my grandfather to print, because they were
self-hating.
Yeah, they were business acquaintance. And it's just,
but because our people were too busy self-hating.
Exactly.
The white man ice is colder.
And not even that, not only that, you know, his wife, who was, wife who was light-skinned, of course, his brothers couldn't stand him. Why? Because he was dark-skinned. And so here's a brother.
Intra-racial racism.
Here's a brother who has 6 kids, ain't never worked for nobody, had a law certificate, because back then you got a certificate, and had his own print shop, had a drum and bugle corps that he sponsored, had a trade school, and the brothers don't like you because you speak your mind and you're dark skinned. That's crazy, but that's that. And then let's keep it real. My uncles, who I love very much, they opened up their own printing shop when he still had his own printing shop. So basically, they were competing with their dad because they didn't want to be told what to do. So as a people, we got a long way to go. Then lastly, my mother used to say, when he would go, so, you know, Springfield's not far from St. Louis. And he said when he would go to St. Louis, he would just, because you can imagine, Donnie, this kind of guy in St. Louis would have been a millionaire, no doubt. And so when they would go, and he would be so excited,
there were more black people in St. Louis than Springfield.
Yes. And his wife would just be like, my grandma would be complaining about how dirty it was, and all he could see was opportunity. So that also speaks to not having, not being married to somebody that had the vision. Because, wow. But now granted, that was, I'm sure they were in the industrial, that part of town where it is, print shops and this and that. But he
talking about the tenacity of your grandma just for sticking with him.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. Well, here's the one that, yeah. So yeah, man.
Plus, he had to be able to fight. If he was over there in St. Louis, I done heard about East St. Louis. Baltimore think it's bad, but I done heard about some ass whippings in East St. Louis.
East St. Louis, it's as somebody who grew up, but it's like Baltimore too, though. In that, what is it? It's rich in history. It's rich in history. Why? Because you had, the black family that had the funeral home, and also they were the mayor of East St. Louis, and the businesses that were thriving, back then because
That's
all these black folks.
That's the Black Wall Street mentality.
Exactly.
So it wasn't just in Tulsa; it was wherever we were.
It's wherever we were, and every place. And now, Donnie, we understand that it's really an algorithm. Every time we make a step forward, America shuts us down. Why? Because right after Reconstruction, I think that was the realization that when you just think about it, you had all these skilled laborers, and if left to their devices, they
would have been successful.
It would have been. It wasn't even a competition. We were the skilled laborers. We were the force, and that's the part. But Donnie, the part that blows me away, even now, I don't think we understand how white people think of us like as monkeys and animals. Because back there at Black Wall Street, the part that blows me away, Donnie, is we can't shop, we can't do nothing with y'all, so we have our own economy.
And now, you're still jealous.
And in this own economy, we have doctors who have cars and airplanes or whatever. But the part that blows me away, Donnie, was they still didn't put two and two together till they started burning them houses down. And they go in the house and they see the baby grand piano and they see the fine clothes and they see the beautiful homes. But it's like, Donnie, what in the hell do you think these people had? I mean, hello? But because they saw so little of us, they couldn't imagine it. And the part that really messed me up is driven so much by hatred, Donnie, they ain't have shit. They refused to wear the clothes. They burned the clothes. They didn't say, okay, let's steal this shit. They're like, burn it. Why? Because it shows that they're better than me.
Boom!
And
boom!
Right.
Boom!
And that's the whole thing right there.
Boom!
So when Obama is elected, what happens? After he's gone, we got to tear this down. Why? Because he was the smartest, he was the most well-behaved,
loved, popular.
Right. Yep. He didn't have the baggage that the other favorites had, and he was a man. He was a man's man. Can't have it. So now you got to bring in Trump.
That's America.
That's America. And that is America. Every time. It really, Donnie. I just made that up. There's an algorithm. That's the algorithm. With every two steps forward, 2 steps back. That's the algorithm.
But it's running out of steam.
Yeah.
It's running out of steam.
Yes, kinda.
Well, it is. It is, brother. This is 2021. I don't know if we can hold on for another 20 years. Let me tell you how it's changed. This same community that your morning show came and spent the night outside of Western District, we are now inundated with poor white addicts in my alley eating out of garbage cans.
Yeah, well, right. Because the dynamic that the dynamic that the powers that be miss is that it's not like you can continue to treat us this way and there's not repercussions, right? And it's like, okay, like what's happening now with the economy, right? The economy, poor folks, are used to being poor. I mean, that's what poor people do. When you start taking working class people, they have no options. Now, white people eating out of garbage cans. White people are robbing you and taking your Rolex watches.
White people standing on North at 83 where the Nation of Islam is usually supposed to be.
Right. Because the economy, because we know how to adjust. It's almost like, it reminds me, when you see the coal miners or you see hoping coal's going to come back, shit ain't coming back. Black folks know that. That's why we go to junior college. That's why we know that you have to adapt or you're going to die. So you better do something. If you think it's going to come back and save you, it's not. And that's the part. That's why I laugh. Like you said, Donnie, you're right. The steam, it's almost like all these Republican states with this leadership that has voted against the interests of the people who live there. Like you said.
But I didn't fully explain. They're running out of time.
Yep.
By 20 more years, it's going to be majority black and brown. And so they don't want abortion in Texas. It ain't got nothing to do with black people. They don't want white women killing white babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is. It's the mad scramble. It's the Randall Cunningham.
The Randall Cunningham. Yeah. And one thing I will say that is the thing that's kind of disheartening, is the, so we know that, like, you've been saying this forever though. The when you just realize that the music and the imaging is really just propaganda to keep us going to prisons. And one of the things that's hilarious when you just think about it, Donnie, because we're a certain age, right? In these rap songs, right? With all the technology, Donnie, we still whipping it in the kitchen. Are these the same damn pans that Jay-Z used, Donnie? God dang. We are whipping it in the kitchen in 2020. Is there any new technology? It's the same mess. It's the whipping it, the trap. Isn't it time for us to move on?
I'm going to go out here on a limb. I don't know how many Future fans are out there, but when I see Future doing a commercial, is this the same guy talking about lean and syrup? And then I got to think about it. It's not much different than in our generation. But damn, you done took the dope man and made the dope man the Harry Belafonte. Malcolm X said entertainers cannot be our leaders.
Yeah.
For this very reason.
But Donnie, you said like in our generation, but at least in our generation, there was a narrative that did not. Look at Children's Story, the saddest story. The Children's Story, what happened, man? He saw Dave the dope man. He grabbed the gun at the end, though. What happened? He got shot. And that's how the story goes. It was like, now, like you say, everybody's glorified. And what broke my heart the other day, that 70-year-old guy in DC who got killed at the ATM, when they showed the kids, Donnie, they looked like they all shopped at Nordstrom, right? Not Nordstrom Rack either. They all had on the finest of clothes. And I was just thinking, Donnie, of course they do, because on Instagram, they're following somebody who has a $50,000 watch. Regular people, upscale people with great jobs and $1 million homes don't have this watch. This is for people. This is for the wealthy. It's not for somebody who don't have it. So but it's a mindset. It's like not just a nice car. You got a damn $300,000 car. Come on, Donnie.
Hey, how many people do we know in Randallstown? They got the Benz, but they ain't got no food in the refrigerator.
Right. Or Benz and no house.
Poor. Prince George's, where you at? Wealthiest black jurisdiction, but also had one of the highest levels, the highest number of incidents when it comes to mortgage foreclosure. So
yeah, and violence. We just saw, I was just telling Allison, I was just out at Woodmore. Shout out to Joe Claire, had an event out at the Woodmore Country Club.
I love that place. I should live there.
Right. And like you said, Donnie, I was sitting there, and I'm not even a drinker or smoker, but a cigar with some Cavassier, outside, golf course, black folks, fire pit. I was like, oh my God, I have to, I gotta be here. And gated community, amazing.
$1 million homes, black people.
$1 million homes. But this today, 70-year-old black woman, pushed down by some thugs
inside
at the shopping center. They pushed her down and robbed her. I have friends who live there, and they moved because, like you say, you got $1 million house, but when she used to go to the shopping center, she was always scared of her own people. And it's like, and then let's not talk about the school system. If you want, and it's so funny, it's not a hard formula. If you live in those $1 million homes, what we need to do is now make sure the quality of the school is improved, because that's what holds the value of your property. You can't have $1 million house for long if the school district's terrible. Now I live in Bethesda where the school district's good, but my kids had to go to a school that, there were very few brown faces, and I now see the damage that it caused, Donnie. And looking back on it, I'm like, looking back, that, I wouldn't have done it, because it really scarred them. It really scarred them. And it's weird. You know how kids are. My oldest child, has a dynamic. She ain't gonna be stopped. You know what I mean? She won't be stopped. But my other kids were really scarred when you're better than somebody, and you can never be a star in the play.
That's how I felt at Baltimore Polytechnic. Poly was the first high school in Baltimore to be integrated. But in my day, 77, late 70s, they were weeding out black students. They did not want us there, including black teachers.
Oh, yeah.
They the ones I have a problem with, the ones who look like me and you who work for the other team.
I was at a party, Don. I think I told you this years ago. I was at a party, friend's house in Bethesda years ago. $2.8 million house. It was a party. I'm from Springfield, so anytime I'm with black folks in these kind of environments, I'm just in awe. And I said, oh my God, it's amazing, isn't it? These teachers from Baltimore, like you said. I said, I would just love to be, if we could just take the kids and show them that black folks live like this. Teacher said, shit, I wouldn't have them little MFers in my house. And I was heartbroken, man. I was like, damn. And these are the teachers. My people.
If we don't see, right across the street from where I live in Sandtown is a former elementary school. Catherine Pugh, in her infinite wisdom, turned this school into a homeless shelter, temporary. I hated it. I hated everything about it. But I did learn something. One of the workers told me one day, in the blink of an eye, anybody could be in this situation.
Oh, that's true.
We got to be careful not to judge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
But especially, nobody's going to look out for us but us. Somebody, you might have $200 million. I got $5. But this skin tone, to them other people, we all, what Jay-Z say, you steal a trigger.
Oh, yeah. And to ourselves, sadly. Like you said, the self-hate is the one that's so crippling, and it's so.
I know why this guy hate me. Why my own hate me?
Well, we also know why that too, Donnie, because of the system. We know that too. But the question then becomes, like you said, how the breaking the it's like you said. Even when we talk about rap, right, and music, right, we can't even have an honest conversation about. We can't have an honest conversation about anything. We can't say. I was at a cookout. I was at a party the other day, and I was trying to bring up an honest conversation. Couldn't even have an honest conversation. Number one, political leadership. We have a character issue. We have a character issue with our politicians.
Lying and stealing. Getting locked up for 15 grand. You 70 years old? Damn, dog.
Right. And then
you picked the wrong game.
Number one. Number two, like you said, politicians. If this is the highest paid job you've got, we don't need you. We need somebody that accomplished something, that they're not doing it because it's their job.
Money. They need a political career.
Exactly, because you are easily swayed by a check, and therefore,
or the girl,
right. Number two, you're not a minute. We got this. We put these ministers and we put these politicians on. No, you work for me. You work for me. No. I don't need to introduce. I don't need to introduce him at the event. No, we're supposed to know who he is, and he should be thankful that we put him in office. We hold him in high esteem for what? And then, Donnie, okay. Look here, mayor for life. Hell yeah, everybody has a mayor for life story. Alice's first job in media was because of him. Everybody has Everybody has a mayor for life story about opportunity, jobs, contracts, whatever. If you ain't got that story, then vote that ass out. If you've been sitting on, if you're on city council, why are you on city council? It's supposed to be it's supposed to be like everybody's supposed to be an all-star. When you say their name, it's supposed to be like, you ain't even gotta, when you say that person's name, you're supposed to be like, you know what I mean? Yep. Like, not who is he? What has she done? What's her belief? No, it's supposed to be. And then Donnie, back to the leadership piece. This system where we don't have to say any names, but there's a problem with the blacks, and you just pay them the money, and then that's the solving the problem. The system. If one name keeps coming up, if one black name keeps coming up in every situation, then that person is getting paid off, or that person is a part of the system, or that person, blah, 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 blah. Because, with all these brilliant black people out here, there's no way only one name needs to come up. Now, some names are brilliant. I mean, Billy Murphy, you basically, like I said, you say Billy Murphy, you go, okay. If you need to fight the biggest situation in your life, that's who you're gonna call. Now, some of these other names that are always brought up, they can't even put two sentences together, Donnie, because we came from a generation where if you couldn't put two sentences together, I don't care if you're the greatest legal mind in the world, your ass was not gonna be the person that represented our people. Why? Because there's too much to lose. And if you say that and everybody be like trying to defend or there's something, to me, the jig is up. What's going on? We can't have a real conversation. If we can't talk real and everybody starts getting defensive, then I'm sorry, something's up. I'm smelling something. What's going on here? Why can't we? Al Sharpton, I love you. Farrakhan, I love you. Farrakhan, I love you, but where is the land? Where is the? For 50 years, we've been putting money away, but there's not even a one place where you could say, this is where black farmers, and this is where we're farming. This is where the nation is growing the beans. There's not one place. And I'm wrong if I ask the question. I'm wrong if I ask the question why Al Sharpton has these TV and radio shows and can barely read the teleprompter. I respect you as a leader, but why are you a media personality if you can't really be a journalist?
Or when are you going to pass the ball?
Sit down.
Are you going to die in office?
Yes. You did it for all black leaders over 65.
Pass the damn ball.
Come on. You need to be, and where is your system that's showing young leadership? Where is your system that says, I'm going to share my legacy by showing this young brother, I see a spark in this guy. He's brilliant. I'm going to bring him, show him what he needs to learn, as opposed to, rarely, it's hard to even meet with these guys. It's like, you got to be, again, you got to kiss their feet to get a meeting. Something's wrong with that. But again, it's not just our leadership. That's the political system of the United States. Because it's the same way. Nancy Pelosi's 80 years old. Our president's 99.
And all of the senators are millionaires.
Yes, except the black ones. And here's my other, if you're a black professional, your kids have to be professionals. Okay? If you're a black politician, your kids have to be professionals, because ain't nothing sadder than when you step down from office and your daughter or your son tries to be either you or is out there begging for a political job, when you should have told them to be a lawyer or a doctor or IT.
Or to your point, it's okay to go into politics, but you don't go into politics to make your money. You go into politics for public service.
To serve.
So if you need money, if you want to make money, run your business.
Exactly.
Have a business. A lot of these politicians are broke, Mark.
Right. And it's like, and I don't have a problem with making money like the ministers. I don't have a problem with ministers making money. A lot of these ministers are the top speakers, in their genre. I have a problem with that. But at the same time, I don't need you to tell me that I don't need to be questioning why you have a Maybach or you have a Bentley. You're wasting your breath. Focus more on the church being used as a youth center, the church being used as a homeless shelter, the church feeding the hungry, the church being the answer to every question that plagues the people, because you're serving the people. I don't need to have conversation. If you got a Bentley, but you got a soup kitchen and you got free access to college and you got free IT training courses going on, I don't have a problem with it, because you're probably just a genius. But what I have a problem is if you get hurt feelings when somebody raises the question.
My daddy said you got to ask the tough questions.
That's right. Give me the tough question. It's fine. And just be honest. It's fine to be honest. You know, I know people be, like I said, I didn't say, was I willing to sacrifice my kids to make a school better? Nope. I wasn't. Was I willing to sacrifice? No, it's like the neighborhood. It's the setup. Like you see it, Donnie. You see it firsthand. Gentrification. So it's not an even playing field, because if I bought the spot on North Avenue in the crime riddled area, if a black family buys it, we're gonna get hit in the head and shot in the face. But if a white family buys it, her ass is out jogging at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, that's horrible.
Because the criminals know if I mess with her, this whole damn neighborhood's going down. But if they hit Donnie in the head, it's just another dead digger. And
my German Shepherd's gonna get that ass. I just want you to know he's right here.
Huh?
My German Shepherd will do the follow-up on
that. Well, good luck. You know what I'm saying? It's a setup. We can't even. It's like you can't. So if I'm gonna risk my life, no, I'm not. But I'm not a public servant.
Mark, what's the link for the reinvention? Is there a link you want people to go to?
Well, no, they can just go to Eventbrite, Eventbrite.com, and type in Marc Clarke, and boom, I come out and have a great time. It's a great cause, and if it's the tickets are too steep, or at any time, it's fine. This is the first of many. I'll be doing stuff, and I just appreciate, look at Charlene Jones. He said bootlickers. Donnie, you crack me up. You are the king of the controversial question. So many times that it'd be like, I told you over the years, I was at this event and this one guy from Baltimore, Donnie.
You got to ask the tough questions. That's what your granddaddy did. Man, big ups to your granddaddy, because think about it. You out there in spring patch. All he had was the printing press and the shotgun and maybe a horse or a mule. He was out there Han Solo.
Yep, and it's so funny because there's a famous gay woman who actually he trained her, and she's considered, I can't think of her name, Donnie. She just recently passed. She's one of the early gay printers and activists, from Springfield, Illinois, black woman.
She took over the business?
No, she did not. But it was funny. She dragged him a bit, because she became. I'm serious. If you look at her, if you just Google gay woman activist Springfield, Illinois, she'll come up. She's one of the first. And my grandfather taught her. She worked at the printing press, and in her article, she kind of said he didn't. Even though he trained her and she worked for him, she wanted more, and she basically said he wouldn't give it to more for her because she was gay. But it's funny because my mother was like, that wasn't it. She was like, he didn't like her.
Yeah.
And so it's just so funny. We're in such an interesting age, because her memories are her memories, and she has a right to have her memory. But my mom was like, that wasn't it. It wasn't about her being gay. He just didn't like her. He didn't like her personality. But it's funny. I just say that because that was a time when that's how it was. People said what they said and meant what they meant, right?
And no cut cards.
No cut cards. And I think at the end of the day, I think it spoke to, again, that generation was, I have no problem teaching you this. I don't have to teach you how to be a printer.
Yeah, if he was so hateful, why did he teach you?
Exactly. And so, but it's
Tell
funny
the
that
whole story. Don't make me go dig up. My daddy was Undertaker. We know where she buried at. Ask the question.
But Donnie, and then lastly, I'm sad. I know we got to. I guess we got to wrap it up. Sadly, typical Black family. We let the printing press. We let the press go. We let the business deteriorate. We didn't. You know what I mean?
That's not just Black people.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's just sad that here I am, generations later in media. Imagine this would have been, this would have been.
But this is it. This is it's a continuum.
That's true.
It's beyond the actual printing press. Just the fact. Hold up. What's your granddaddy's name?
Yeah, Inman E. Foster, and his son was a printer also. My uncle was a printer also.
So we done shouted out your granddaddy Foster, and his name sings on and rings on in perpetuity.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, that's true. That's true. And he wasn't. He, like you say, the cut cards. How you say that phrase? That was definitely him. And I laughed.
My daddy was Undertaker. I ain't want to bury nobody. I don't like the smell of embalming fluid.
What does it smell like, by the way, Donnie?
Mixed with the smell of dead people. Actually, the smell of dead people is worse. That's a smell you never forget.
Wow, that's deep.
But I did have fun in the funeral home.
Well, Donnie, again, you would have been a multimillionaire.
Nah, I don't like the smell of dead people. But we did used to lock them little East Side bastards up in our morgue, though. They used to give me all kinds of hell, Mark. Me and Black Stevie, I'm gonna tell you, we used to lock them in the morgue.
Not Black Stevie.
Yeah, we never had a problem out of them again. Yeah, 20th Street, 20th and Boone, East Baltimore.
Well, you are continuing the legacy of printing in the new,
of entrepreneurship.
Yep, and printing in the new age, in the new era.
Yes.
Pretty exciting worldwide, right? Donnie, how's your worldwide following? I'm sure you have a nice following.
We had 200 countries, 15 years ago. But Google changed the game. So right now, they have a new library where web addresses start with HTTPS. Now, for the first 15 years, it was HTTP.
Oh, the S is security, right?
But you pay for it.
Yeah.
They put admission fees. And if you don't have the S, then your website is listed as unsecured, and they won't even list it on Google. They got a stick-up fee, baby.
How much is that fee?
Maybe $100 a year.
Okay.
And it don't even guarantee you placement on Google.
I wondered about that.
Going back to what you said about algorithms, Zuckerberg ain't the only one with algorithms. All of them got algorithms, and all of them are racist.
Oh yeah.
So I'm longing for two things: one, a Black social media, and two, a Black search engine as powerful as Google. Even when you look up stuff on Google, you look up Black history stuff on Google, they always gonna give you some old whitewashed version of who Donnie Glover was. It's like the GPS system. We need a Black GPS system. Hey, I know I told your ass not to turn there.
Have you tried out Isaac Hayes the second's social media site?
No, what is it?
Yeah, Isaac Hayes the second. He has a media site.
Okay, well send it to me. I'd love to look him up. But long story, so here's the real hit. It's time for us, Mark.
The third, actually. Isaac Hayes the third. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you've already you went to South Africa. What was that? 2003?
Yeah, I guess so. Yep, around then. Mm-hmm.
I went to Africa a few years later, 3 years later, but we got to link up with our brothers and sisters in Africa.
Well, and also get our history right, because I told you when I went there, and I was like, with the Zulu brother, he said, "I am not your brother."
No,
I just, he said,
he was one of them ignorant ass ones.
he said,
You always got an ignorant one in the
he said,
crowd.
we did not sell our people to him. We did not sell our people. The Zulu
He
did not
don't
sell
know
our people.
Jack. Yeah, tell him to go straight to hell. Because I'm going to tell you this. His African-American brothers led the way on apartheid.
There we go.
Including Pee-wee. Oh, I'm sorry, Kwaisi.
Kwaisi, I
got
love
locked
you.
up over there in D.C.
I love you, Kwaisi, but it's time to retire.
Yeah, pass the ball.
Wait a minute. Kwaisi retired when he handed it off to when he handed it off. Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead, Elijah. You can have it. I'm done.
I'm glad he took it back, but you're right. We need to get Sophia in there. But Sophia's sick of it.
I don't know anybody more brilliant than Sophia Robb. I don't know anybody.
Smart people, when they get a gist of what it is, they don't want none.
Yeah, no. Well, you know why? Because there's a couple reasons, but at the end of the day, Donnie, at the end of the day, we're as a people, as we've shown to all of the children of our fallen soldiers, as a community, we have nothing for them. We don't know how to support them. So when you go out there and you fall on the sword and ain't nobody got your back, I mean, that's why Farrakhan and Al just went ahead and took the money, because they already saw what happened to a lot. Look at Malcolm X's children. Look at the King children. Look at C4. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the children, you know what I mean? The children are left, and then the children are left like having to figure it out, because ain't nobody coming to save you. And so that's something, Donnie, we don't ever talk about, but it's real. I mean,
that's why I do my own, because I don't want to have to change how I talk. I want to have to change my diction, Donnie, or being a little too,
let me tell you something,
urban,
Donnie.
a little too ethnic.
When I got that TV check, all my controversial posts stopped.
Peace, brother.
Donnie, right.
Donnie,
Hi, you ain't seen no controversial posts from Marc Clarke since August, whenever I took the job. Donnie, I get ready to say something like, yeah, but, and I'm like, nope. This is the most controversial I've been.
Write it down for your book.
Because I ain't saying, until this TV thing, I ain't saying nothing. They new to you, boy. Snip, snip. I ain't said nothing on social media. I'm all positivity. Hey, drink your moss.
Everything in its time. Right. Everything in its season. And you make us proud. You always have. You've kept it real. And that's all we want.
That's all we want. Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. Yeah, that's all we want. It's just, you know what I mean? Even if you say, like you say, we much prefer if someone just came out honest and said, look, man, I'm not gonna say this because I don't want to lose my job. We respect that more than you when somebody asks a stupid ass question and you go, yeah, you know, it's like, come on, man. Like,
well, you talking about the guy on Fox 45. What's his name? Kyle Jackson.
Hey, I didn't say nothing. That's Donnie. I'm not putting nobody out there. No, but
Kyle Jackson do the runaway slave report.
Okay, I'm not saying.
We found out that Donnie Glover escaped from Sandtown.
I'm not.
He's now.
I'm not on whatever Donnie's saying. Kyle, love Kyle.
For his arrest. He's violent.
What about? It's like Dr.
No white people. Fox don't report on no white people wanted. Ain't no white people commit no crimes.
Donnie, what about when Fauci was under Trump and Trump was saying craziness, and Fauci would just be sitting, him and the sister, the white chick, they'd just be there like, huh? He's like, we're gonna spray some bleach, and they'd be like, Dr. Fauci, what do you think about that? And he would be like, you know, I mean, but Donnie, I was always amazed by. It ain't like these jobs are paying that much. I was just always amazed, but again, hey.
You got to do the White House. I think it's time you go over there and do some clips at the White House. Tell April move her ass over. Marc Clarke in town.
April keeps it real though. April keeps it real. April keeps it real.
She swing on Trump, but
She's
we
swinging
gotta
on
swing.
hard.
We gotta swing on the Democrats too.
Yeah, you know what? But it's almost sad. The Democrats are just sad. As a Democrat, it's just the worst. We're the worst. We have no balls, and we don't like Manchin. Look, man, somebody need to beat Manchin's ass. First of all, this is what I think, Donnie. If your state is whack, you need to shut up. You know what I'm saying? If your state if you ain't got a badass state, you know what I mean? If your state, are you serious? West Virginia?
The ones in my alley, they're cousins.
Who's afraid of West Virginia? Man, shut up. Somebody need to say him to shut up. Why does he have so much power, man? You ain't bringing nothing. West Virginia?
He's white.
And they terrified. What are you terrified? Man, forget West Virginia. Forget him. Democrats. And we don't know how to stay on message. The Republicans be on the most stupid ass messages ever, and they be holding tight to it. Yep. What do you think about your president saying that bleach can cure it? Yeah, sure. Democrats can't stick together for nothing. But then again, black people can't stick together for nothing. It's all. Oh my God,
that's not true. We do stick together. I like Ilhan Omar.
Man, they're a mess. They're a mess because they're all over the place. Why they all got controversy? You know, when you had a affair, and then come say it. Just say it. Yes. Yep, I sure did. Keep it going. Keep it moving. I messed around on my husband.
Lamar told the truth.
Who did?
Lamar. He said he did not take the COVID shot. But Aaron Rodgers get up there. He lied.
Yeah, he lied.
And what? And give me my check. And NFL was complicit. But I'm saying it because when Lamar first told the truth, we were like, oh, man, take the damn shot. But he told the truth.
No,
Aaron Rodgers got out there and lied.
Well, no. Now, one thing you got to say, Ravens fans are loyal. I mean, now it could be because our two quarterbacks look like runaway slaves, but our team, Donnie, what would your parents say about Lamar and the backup quarterback's hairstyle?
What would my parents say about the UCLA guard with about 2 feet of hair? You seen, dude? Have you seen him?
No.
The guard for UCLA, dude, his hair is touching the ground.
But hey,
give him a haircut, damn, or wrap it up or something. Shit all in my face. Look, man, I'm trying to play basketball, not rub your. Oh man, Mark, we got to go. Casey Jenkins is having a grand opening to Darker Than Blue. That's where we're going to see you next Thursday. Yes. One more time, plug the December 11th event for me.
Come on out. Would love to see your face in the place. It's my Reinventing Holiday Affair. Please go to Eventbrite and type in Marc Clarke and get your tickets. We're going to have a great time, and I will see you there. Thank you, Donnie. Love you so much.
Good deal. Much love. We'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Good evening, world.
All right, Donnie. Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.